Hey, I'm Katie Miller, a course creation coach and social media strategist navigating business, motherhood, and life while calling BS along the way. If you are tired of the overwhelming amount of information we have access to these days and are confused about where to even begin, you're in the right place. Join me as I talk with small business owners to sort it all out and give some tips to move your business forward. Welcome back to another episode of Katy Calls BS. This week, we are talking about a hot topic, always a hot topic lately, especially in the digital world. It is using AI to create digital products, the good, the bad, and the BS, of course. So if you've been on my email list, you know I love using AI tools, especially ChatGPT. I call my assistant Chatty. What you may not know is that I am skeptical of technology. I'm usually a late adopter. I'm someone who is like, hey, you check it out, dive in. You over there, go see what it's all about. I observe for a while. I'm someone who usually walks into a big room of people. I am going to observe what happens, and I'm the same way with technology. It doesn't mean that I'm going to stay on the wall. I just want to see what's going to happen first before I know how I'm going to use it. So I observe for a while to make sure it's not some shady thing, some shady scheme before I try it out and see how it's going to work for me. I want to know how other people use it, and then I'm going to be able to process how it's going to fit into my life, my business, whether it's going to be useful for me. I'm not one to jump in and be like, let me try it out and see what's going to work. And then if it doesn't work, I'm just going to move on. I'm not that person. But let's be honest, AI is everywhere right now. It's a part of every tool that we use. If you're a Canva user, it's in Canva tools. If you use email, it's in your email. If you use pretty much any tool that you use for your business, AI is probably some part of that, right? In your search, it's part of that. It's everywhere. And so is the BS around it. So we're going to help you kind of wade through that a little bit today. The hot debate around it really is can it help you create faster? Yes. Will it build a successful digital product for you? No, it won't. And I know people will come out and be like, yes, it will, Katie. It will absolutely build a successful digital product for you. That's where we're going to break it down today. The hot debate from the beginning has always been whether it's going to replace us and what we do. I've had this debate with so many people. You may have even heard about the recent study from MIT that looked at the brains of people writing an essay with ChatGPT. And I'm not going to go into the whole thing and break it all down because that could be a whole episode in itself, but go check out the articles about it. But it looked at critical thinking skills and it wasn't great. It wasn't awesome. People that used ChatGPT didn't really remember what they wrote about. They kind of just were like, okay, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to write it down. They didn't remember what they were writing because they didn't use their critical thinking skills and create their own thoughts, which leads me to how we use AI to create digital products. It is a tool that we can use as a jumping off point. We did an interview on Katy Calls BS with an AI expert, so check that out and I'll link it in the show notes. But today we're going to break down the good, the bad, and the total BS of using AI to create digital products. Now here's the good part about it. This is the main way that I use it and how I look at AI. It is an idea generation and brainstorming tool. It's your starting place. It is great for drafting the outlines, for creating title ideas or starting the title ideas for you, because some of us have problems with that. Some of us can come up with a catchy title for a product or for something in our business really easily. And some of us struggle with that. I struggle with it. Okay. Some of us, it's really easy to come up with descriptions, and others, it's really hard. ChatGPT or other AI tools are really great at doing that for us, creating that efficiency within our business, using it as our jumping off point, and then putting it into our own words. That's the key part. You can even use AI tools to humanize your AI, but I wouldn't do that. I would humanize it yourself because we're smart enough to do that. So let's humanize it ourselves. So using tools like ChatGPT, which is my personal fave, I use it all the time, but using that for content help, for things like outlines, for descriptions, various things within your business, You can also use Canva tools. We use that for design, copy, whatever you use that for. Descript for editing and repurposing. I use Riverside for the podcast, which has AI tools for editing. Really, AI can make the process faster, more efficient, which is what we need within our business. It's like your assistant, but it doesn't replace your judgment. It doesn't replace your strategy. It doesn't replace your personal experience. It doesn't replace the human part of what you can do. And this is where I always argue with people when it comes to AI. It is not going to replace the human, okay? Because there are personal experiences and there are personal thoughts and judgments that come into what we do. And that's what makes us us. That's what makes our business so unique from the other people within our industry and the other people out in the world. It's why we're not all the same. It's why we're not all robots. That's where you have to remember that using tools like AI are not going to replace you. You still need to be a human out in this world. Here's the bad part of it. The bad part is we have all of this cookie cutter content flooding the market. When everyone is using these pattern recognition tools, which is the basic foundation of AI, like the very basic, it gets much more complex than that with some tools, and you can get into all of that. Like if you go dive deep into what AI actually is, but down at the very basics of it, it is a pattern recognition tool. And if we have people using it to create their content, then you just have the same content over and over again, which is so boring. You have everyone seeing the same exact thing. We don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see the same thing in their feed. We want to see what you think. We want to see the personal element of it, which is what makes every brand so unique. That is where personal branding comes into play. You start seeing people recognize that something is AI generated content. It wasn't human sounding, or it had the M dash, which is classic ChatGPT. People are like, oh, we know that that's ChatGPT because of the M dash. Or we have people talking about how resumes are so easy to spot when AI did it, or when ChatGPT did it, or when something did it, because it's not human. They just put it into some generator, and there's things that people can see, patterns that people can find, or words that people can find, or the M dash that people can see that make it so recognizable. When people rely too much on AI instead of building a skill or building their knowledge or actually using their brains, we lack that clarity, we lack that personal brand, and we end up with all these bland, boring products. So the unique part of our brands aren't really a thing anymore, which is kind of defeating the purpose of having our business, right? So you still have to know what makes something sellable, what makes it valuable and aligned with your brand. Otherwise, AI is just helping you make mediocre stuff faster. We don't really need that. The BS of it all is that you can use AI to create and sell a product in a weekend. It sounds great. It'll sound like everybody else's. It's kind of like when you hear all those things like, instead of watching Netflix tonight, go to Canva and create this digital product. Cool. You and 552 other people can create a copy and paste calendar or digital planner or whatever and throw it up on Etsy and sell some stuff maybe. But that's not a brand. And it's not what we do as small business owners. It doesn't set you apart from anybody else. You created something from the basic designs that you find on Canva. It's the same as what people say when it's you sell cookies, I bake cookies. Okay, we're not the same. Or you're a brand designer and someone goes and creates a logo and they say, oh, I'm a brand designer too because I made a logo on Canva. Not the same. I might be able to take great photos on my phone, but I'm not calling myself a photographer. I didn't make one course and call myself an instructional designer. I'm just saying you have experience in these things, and that's what makes you your business. It's not just because you went and did the one thing. And so now you can call yourself that. It's because you have built this business and you have experience doing it and you've done it over and over and over again. And you have so many iterations of how you've evolved in your business to get you where you are now, to have all this knowledge and experience to be able to share with people and have your business. AI is only allowing you that shortcut when you already know where you're going. You can't start from nothing with AI. You have to have a prompt. You have to have something to start with. You have to be able to give the directions, give the prompts, but you can't start and just stand there and stare at it. You have to at least give a direction, which is an important part of it. The market can feel when something feels off, when it lacks that real thought, of that real human thought and that human element. Your audience knows when your content is phoned in. It knows when it's off, when it's not you, when it's not authentic, when it's not human, especially when you have built a brand already, which so many of us have. They will not connect with the product or you selling that if it was created in a day on AI with zero thought. You are not going to be excited about the product. Your audience is not going to be excited about it. You're just going to you did it in a weekend. Some of us may be so excited about it that we did create it in a weekend. But if you just are like, here, go create this thing, then you didn't actually change any of it. You just copy pasted into Canva or wherever. Now you're putting this product out into the world and you didn't change anything. You didn't put any of your personal experience, your personal thought into it. You're not creating a branded product. You're not creating anything that's aligned with your business or you. That's a problem. That's where the BS comes in. So if you want to create something, if you want to use AI as a tool, use it as a tool, use it as your assistant. I say Chatty is my assistant. ChatGPT I call her Chatty. She's my assistant. I use it for so many things. I use it for funny things like roasting the city I live in or the cities that I visit. I use it for healthy snack ideas for my kids. I use it for content ideas. It's like my massive and efficient search engine that learns what my goals are so it can hone in on that. It's great for getting unstuck, but not for skipping steps. You can focus on where you need to go next. It allows you to focus instead of having this broad open worldwide web. You can focus down. It's almost like that, a little more of that coaching element without the coach part of it. Because you're still going to need that because that's the personal element of it. A large part of that is a good prompt, and you can find a million of those online now. And if you're just getting started, have a conversation with the AI tool that you choose, the AI tool of choice. If you're starting with ChatGPT, some of us are whatever tool you choose, because everybody has their personal preference. But I went back and looked at my first prompt because, like I said, I was skeptical. So I went into my first prompt with ChatGPT. I remember I went to a networking event and I listened to the whole presentation. And I was like, I don't know. Let me see what it's going to do. So I went home after that networking presentation and I asked it, I said, you are a course creation expert selling a course to service-based entrepreneurs with a no BS filter. I said what I did, what I was doing, and my brand, which is no BS filter, very me. I asked it what it would do because I wanted to see what it would spit out at me to see if it was on brand, if it would be accurate. It was pretty accurate. Now I ask it things like, with all the data you've ever collected on me, tell me who I am at my core and don't sugarcoat it. But I see prompts that'll come up here and there. Sometimes some of them are really good and some of them I'm like, oh, I've got to try that one. And I'll go try it. It just depends. The key is, though, you have to enter a good prompt because a good input is going to get you a good output. But the more you put in, the more you're going to get out. If you are like, give me an email to send to my email list, it's going to be like, I don't know who the hell is on your email list or what the hell you do. But you need to be able to say what you do and what are you trying to do with that email? Because you can hone that in. It doesn't mean you're going to replace your email marketer, but if you're in a place in your business where you can't afford that or you don't want to pay for that right now, you can use that tool to help you right now so that before you can afford that down the road. It's your tool, it's your assistant, right? Just remember it's your starting point. But the prompt that you can use now to get started is start by telling it what you need it to do, who you are, have it ask you 5 questions to get to know you better. That will help get you started so that it gets that memory in there and you can build on it from there. Like I said, I use it for a lot of aspects of my business, just as from an efficiency standpoint as my starting point. I've used it for clients. I've used it for myself. It's just a place to start. It's just a great way to build that efficiency, which we all need in our life. One thing I wanted to share, we have 2 more episodes until we hit 100 episodes, which is wild to think about. There are almost 100 episodes of Katy Calls BS. There are some special things planned. Be sure to share and tag us when you listen. We love to see that, and we will share it on our Instagram page at Katy Calls BS. We will see you next time. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Katy Calls BS. You can find more information about our guest and Katy in the show notes below. Be sure to subscribe, share, and review, and don't forget to tag us.